Three, two, one. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 6, I think. I think this is episode 6.
Is it 6? Wow.
We are on a roll. We are on
That's
fire.
that's
All thanks to me, by the way.
that's
'Cause I have
four
to
too
drag
many.
this guy out of his house, or out of his girlfriend's house, to make it on time to the podcast and make sure that we actually record the podcast.
Listen, we had a training session this morning, so
Yeah, before we get into the podcast, couple updates. First of
mhm.
all, Georgie and I are coming out of retirement. All right. Georgie for the first time. Me for the 10th, 11th time, somewhere around there. So we've been training. So you guys will be seeing on the channel. We'll be posting some training videos and just seeing where the training takes us, because we don't have a team.
no,
So
we're
if you
just
guys know of any teams out there that Coach Javi and Georgie, the ex-pro, can play on, let us know. So that's one. Two, the big news, and we already released it on social media, but Georgie and I are starting a team. It's called Liquid Football, and it is going to be a men's competitive amateur team starting play in 2023. Do you want to give them a little rundown, Georgie?
we have no idea where we're gonna play, what league. We don't have anything set, but I think that's like the whole beauty in it. That this is like you're gonna document everything, the whole entire process, and kind of show the behind the scenes of what it takes to run a semi-professional or an amateur team or whatever you want to call it. But we're just we just made it because obviously we enjoyed the game, we love the game, and we want to see where we can take a team. And obviously at the beginning it was more of we'll just make a team and get a bunch of our friends to play on the team. And then as we kind of started, it got a little bit more and more serious. So yeah, it's exciting, and we are looking for sponsors.
We are looking for sponsors.
For the team, for
And for
Liquid
the
Football,
podcast.
and for the podcast.
Yeah.
So anyone out there, if you guys want to sponsor this podcast,
Yeah, so
Just reach
with
out.
with the podcast, obviously we're looking for sponsors so that we can continue to just expand the podcast a little bit, maybe get some more equipment, get some guests on, just improve the quality overall, be able to put it up on Spotify, different places on the internet. So we're looking for sponsors. We do have a sponsorship. What do you want to call it? A PDF, like a JPEG, like just a document that outlines kind of what the
With-
sponsorship packages look like, which I can actually upload and put on top of the screen right
Mhm.
here. So if anybody's interested, feel free to reach out. I'll leave all of our contact information in the description. But then we're also looking for sponsors for the new team. And for those of you who don't know, you can follow us at Liquidy Football on Instagram, Twitter, and I did start the TikTok, but the TikTok, we don't have that much content up there because that's more of like in-season type content with the players and stuff. So I haven't been able to post too much on there. But on Instagram and the Twitter, that's where we're posting all of the not behind the scenes, but we're posting a lot of the
Updates.
introduction
Yeah.
videos, updates, things like that. And I'll put that in the description as well and on the screen at Liquidy Football. So the idea behind the team is Georgie and I have a lot more time on our hands now that we've transitioned out of DCFC. So we have a little bit more time, which I think it's always kind of been a little bit of a dream for both of us to just start our own team and start something with a different perspective, a little differently than the traditional ways of doing it. So we're still figuring out which league we're going to play in. We're not sure. We're still trying to figure that out because we won't start playing until 2023. So we're looking at what our best options are for spring/summer, and then potentially early fall. But for right now, that's the target. And yeah, it's not funded by huge investors or anything like that. It's really just me, Georgie, and trying to find some sponsors, and then just trying to find extra ways of like bringing in some revenue to just basically fill the operating costs. Is all we're trying to do.
Yeah, we're not trying to like make money from this. It's
Yeah.
just purely for fun, to see how far we can take it and see for ourselves what it takes to run a team. So that's how it really is.
I'm excited for not necessarily the business side of it, but just being a little bit away from the directly on the field type stuff. I think like managing the social media, working with sponsors, working on the game day operations. That's what I'm kind of excited about, because I think the way we're doing it is we're trying to do it kind of what our motto is unofficially is by the players for the players. So we're not trying to bring in like businessmen who have never played the game before. We're trying to bring in ex-players people who have coached, people who have worked in this environment, and try and focus on the field product first, but also off the field product, the things that go on behind the scenes, and for game day, having those things run by footballers as well. So I think that's important. So I'm looking forward to getting into those things, into those aspects of it. But make sure you guys check us out again at Liquidy Football on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And we will have a website, which will be up soon when Coach Javi finishes it. But yeah, and speaking of that, the announcements that we've gotten so far is we announced the official team logo, which I'll put up on the screen, which I think is kind of neat. And if you go to the Instagram and the Twitter, you'll be able to see the explanation behind the logo and how we came up with that. But the other big announcement is Champion Grind is going to be our official sponsor / kit provider / like apparel provider for the fans and everything. So every single piece of apparel that we have, anything that's clothing related for the team, is going to be done by Champion Grind.
Yeah, man, it's exciting because so far, Champion Grind wise, I'm more into the soccer scene now, and I've been working with teams, but it's never been to this extent. So this is gonna be a challenge, but it's exciting because I do want to expand. I want to make sure that I'm able to do that for a lot more teams. So like with us creating this team and with Champion Grind kind of providing the apparel for everything that we do, it's gonna be interesting to see, one, how much apparel we can get. The quality, obviously, it's gonna be what we like, what we would wear. It's not something that we're just gonna put out there that, oh, this is crap, and we're like, whatever, we'll just put it out there just for the sake of having something out there. We want to make sure every detail, every size, everything we do is to something that we as players want to wear on the field. So we're not willing to put it out just to put it out. Yeah, it's exciting. Never been done before for a team, so it's going to be a challenge. But I think we're on the right track. I mean, we have a few samples in the works right now. Probably going to get those samples in within the next week or so. And then, kind of go from there, change up a few things, and then we'll get the ball rolling.
So it is early. It is early. We still have quite a bit of time to go, but we have been focusing on the first piece of like fan apparel, like T-shirts, what we're going to do so people can go on the store and buy and actually have something that has the Liquid Football logo on it with Champion Grind. So that's one. And then the other thing is the jersey, the kit, which I'm really excited about because we've been working on it now for probably a couple months now. Working on the design, sending it to get the samples made, and then we already got our first sample in. It was like maybe 8 or 9 changes that we wanted on it. So now when we get the next sample in, hopefully we're getting really, really close to the final product. And then by the time we're ready to release it, we'll be extremely happy with it. And then that'll probably go up for sale as well.
Yeah, and the main thing here is like when we are selling this apparel, whether it's shirts, jerseys, all the money we get is getting put right back into the team.
Right back into the team,
like,
to cover our costs.
Yeah, to cover the cost. Like there's so much detail in the design part, in the design aspect of, even if it's just like a sample for a shirt. A lot of people don't take that into account, but especially for a jersey, the little details make a jersey quality.
Yeah.
There's just so many little details that people don't realize. And also the fact that it costs so much money to run a team. Like we went over the cost, and there's obviously the field, the leagues, the referee. There's just so much behind it, and I think that's very interesting for people on YouTube or wherever you may be watching or listening, like through this podcast or on the actual channel, that the details and the amount of things that we're gonna go through and we're gonna share with everyone, it's gonna help out so many people, because there's everybody as a player, you're like, oh, one day I want to have my own team. Yeah. And there's so many new teams popping up, and there's it's by players, by ex-players they've played the game, that have so much passion for the game, but don't know what it takes to do it. And I think this is going to help out so many people.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing as well is we're trying to be transparent. So we're not going to try and pretend like we're this huge organization. It's really just us. We're trying to bring on a couple more people who are going to help, who have the same vision. But we'll be transparent with the whole process anytime we communicate with any of the players. any of our employees or workers, people who are volunteers, whoever's helping us out. We're going to be transparent, honest, and that's I think that's a big piece of us being able to run this successfully. So, yeah, lots of exciting things.
Projects.
But again, follow us on the social media channels, and then we'll keep you guys updated as far as when the tryouts will be, what our home field is going to be, all of that stuff that we have yet to figure out, because we did do the budgeting, which obviously was the most important part, because we had to figure out if financially we were going to be able to do it. And then from there, it was just all the little details. But a lot of things just pop up randomly that you didn't think about until you start doing them.
Yep.
But we'll try and show you guys the process in case maybe you want to start your own team at some point, and you're like, okay, what does it take?
I think just the journey alone, like starting from zero, and you're like, okay, from designing a kit to how you got to the logo, or to the apparel that you sell, or making the website, or getting tryouts, like all those little things, people don't really think about, but it all adds up. And it's interesting that the whole entire journey will be documented. So for anyone that wants to, or is interested in watching or learning and all that, it's going to be there to see.
Yeah. So that's that. Liquid Football. Make sure you go check it out. First podcast with the very first weekend of the Premier League done. Let's talk about some of the games, Georgie. First of all, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with your? We typically start with Liverpool. So why don't we start with Manchester City? We start with Liverpool and Manchester City. Okay. But let's start with Man City.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on their performance? 2-0 win.
I actually thought for a lot of the game, Manchester City were rusty. Misplaced passes, you usually don't see that. Misplaced passes by really good players, and it's normal. It's completely normal. Like, I think every single team was rusty. Like, every player was rusty. It's just how it is the first few games of the season.
You were telling me earlier that you felt that they got lucky.
I felt like, okay.
Which they did in regards to the injuries. So, obviously, Fabianski gets injured. Yeah. And then Mikel Antonio is limping for the whole first
You make
half.
your own luck. Like, I just want to put out that you do make your own luck by being a good enough team, and you keep persisting and you're playing your way, whatever. I understand that. But the one thing I told you before, Antonio was out. I don't know what minute exactly. It was like 30th minute.
Yeah.
The guy fell, and obviously his knee was already taped up. And at that point, they already took Fabianski out. So I understand David Moyes did not want to make another substitution and take away like the two of his times that he can make subs, and then he's left with one. I completely understand that. But you don't play against the best possession team in the whole entire world with a man down, let alone 11 players. You're telling me with Antonio, after he got hurt, he's told I don't know who he told, but he's like, oh, you go forward, you run around up there, and I'll just stay as like the winger, and he just stay back. I was like, dude, you're limping. Like, you need I mean, that's not on Manchester City. You only can do what you take care of your own team, so that's not their fault. But it's like, man, West Ham
just upset because they won.
I'm upset,
and Liverpool did not win.
Yes, but I will say this: Declan Rice is the real deal.
You know who's the real deal besides Declan Rice?
Who?
Erling Haaland.
You
cannot make any excuses, because Georgie, we've been having this discussion the last few podcasts. Nunez versus Haaland. Who's the better signing? Haaland is clearly
no.
Because the guy, listen, here's the thing with Nunez, and so far he's done well, but I just think Haaland is going to be more consistent.
I can see that.
The guy's a monster. The guy's a beast. Like, you cannot. First of all, you're not going to beat him in a foot race.
No, you're not.
Defensively. So anytime he gets in behind and they play a well-timed ball, which Manchester City is going to do every single game, he's going to get in behind. And if he does manage to get even a little bit in front of you, you're not going to take him off the ball.
Unless you're Van Dijk.
And listen, if you want to talk about Van Dijk, we can talk about Van Dijk, George.
Listen, just keep going. Van Dijk shut him down the Community Shield.
We're going back to Van Dijk. But yeah, the guy he's a natural finisher. And that's the best part. He's not just one of those players who's fast and strong, but the guy finishes. And when you have all those things put together, he's going to score. He's going to be top scorer Premier League.
Okay, so the second goal, obviously the first one.
Great ball.
The first one, PK, like Uriel, whatever. That's a whole different thing. The second goal, teams against Manchester City are not going to play Well, West Ham. Obviously, West Ham had to because they're losing, like, whatever. I understand that. But in the Premier League, Liverpool and Manchester City
So
do
what?
not get... So my point is this. Haaland is not going to have that much room to run in behind teams. So
he'll just be in the box and he'll just finish
yes.
off a cross.
So that's the difference. He's a much better running behind, one-on-one against the keeper finisher, rather than him being in the box waiting for a
Yeah,
ball,
but still.
waiting for a cross. See, he's gonna score goals. He's gonna score goals. If you ask me, is he gonna be the best he possibly could in Manchester City? I think within a year or two, like after he gets used to everything, yeah. This season that we talked about between Nunes or Haaland, I think Haaland is still gonna score goals, but is the best fit in Manchester City? I don't know. I just
You're
don't
saying
think.
Nunez at Liverpool is a better fit than Haaland at City. That's what you're saying.
Yes, just because Nunes at Liverpool gives them a whole different.
What, that he runs in behind?
He runs in behind and he's a finisher. Liverpool don't have a clinical finish.
Are you listening to yourself right now?
You have Mo
He
Salah.
runs in behind and
Yes.
he's a finisher.
Yes,
All right.
but
You just said Erling Haaland is the exact same thing.
But-
and teams will not play against Liverpool
yes,
and Man City.
yes. But Liverpool, this is the difference. Liverpool play with that style to just running behind. City don't do. In the past few years, City do not do the long ball. City do not go direct. They pass around. Even during the game, Haaland made so many runs in behind. And I saw Rodri was like, no, calm down. We're gonna pass around.
Yeah, but it's first game.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I understand that. And he's going to score goals. They're going to do the tap in. He's going to be in the box. He's going to score some tap ins. But what he's good at, what we know at Borussia Dortmund, what he was good at is direct, in behind, put the ball in behind, let him run.
So let me ask you this question then.
Okay.
Who finishes at the top of the Premier League on goals at the end of the season?
Between Haaland or...
Anyone. Who's the top scorer of the Premier League?
Haaland will be up there. But he's not... It's not going to be...
So Georgie's saying Haaland is probably has a good chance of being the top scorer
He's going to be
in
up
the
there.
Premier League.
In the Premier League is different than the German League. Like, he's not going to score as many as the
But
German
you're
League.
telling me he's not as effective in the Manchester
he's
City
not-
style, and
no,
you're
no,
still
no.
telling me he's going to be the top goal scorer.
He will not. Okay. Manchester City style as well. Possession, right?
Mm-hmm.
They keep possess.
Yeah, but
possess.
they don't only possess though. That's the thing. That's what they're known for because they want to keep
Yeah.
the ball.
So what I'm saying, I don't think, unless Pep changes his way, which Pep does not change his way. He's stubborn. He's a stubborn
Do
coach.
not talk negatively about my boy Pep, all right?
Pep spent billions.
Listen, another podcast and another Georgie just losing his head once again.
No, listen.
We're like
Look,
15 minutes in, 18,
Haaland-
20 minutes in, and you've already lost your head.
Okay. You think Haaland's going to be a top goal scorer in
Yes.
the Premier League? I don't
Yes.
think so. Okay.
If he stays injury free,
Okay.
if he stays injury free, well, right, but that's what I'm saying with anyone, right?
Yeah.
Because like if he
Okay.
halfway through the season does something to his knee or whatever, and then he's out, then of course you can't, right? But if he stays injury free and he plays the entire season, compared to anybody else who plays the entire season as well, he is going to be the top scorer in the Premier League.
How many goals are you saying?
Well, last year it was pretty easy to be the top scorer because who was the high scorer? It was like Salah with like 21 or something
It was
like that.
Salah and Son. They tied for.
Yeah, but I think he gets 30. He gets at least 30. Like he crosses the 30
Like Premier League only,
Premier League only,
not
yeah.
like
in league play.
okay.
League play. Premier League only gets over 30 and he's top scorer. And I don't think it'll be that close, to be honest. I don't think it'll be like within 1 or 2 goals.
Mhm.
I think it'll be like at least 3 or 4.
So you're saying, we had this debate last time. You're saying Manchester City with Haaland and them losing those players that they lost are better now than
Yeah,
they
because
were.
it wasn't just Haaland, George. It wasn't just Haaland who they
The
got.
Alvarez. Haaland and Alvarez.
Yep.
So you're saying Haaland and Alvarez
Mhm.
are better than Sterling, Zinchenko, and Gabriel Jesus?
Yes.
I disagree.
It's not those guys. It's the fact that they have replaced those positions, and they got Haaland. Haaland is the best striker in the world. You can try and debate it. Right
Okay.
now, he is
Okay.
the best. He's in the best form. He's the best striker in the world. All right. So automatically, when you go from Gabriel Jesus, who is top level striker, and he's doing really well for Arsenal, and Arsenal it looks like so far is a really good fit for him. But there's no comparison between those two guys.
Well, no. Well,
If you ask any team which striker they would sign if they could get on
yeah,
free,
between those two.
everyone would say, but not between those two. If you ask every single
Okay,
team,
they'll say, okay, what I'm saying is,
90% of teams will say Haaland.
okay, but you say Haaland, but at what cost? They lost 3 key players. I know you're gonna say Sterling wasn't key, Gabriel Jesus wasn't key, Zinchenko wasn't key. Those guys were key players for Manchester City. So you're saying Haaland and
you're saying
Alvarez.
all three of those guys were undoubtedly starters every single game.
No, not undoubtedly.
So then how can they be key players?
They're key players.
Kevin De Bruyne is a key player. You lose Kevin De Bruyne, and now you're
No.
that's a problem.
I'll go back to that because I did my research. I did all my research, and that's the whole different thing. But all I'm gonna try and say is, I think Manchester City is worse off with Haaland and losing those three players.
I think you are
Haaland,
taking the piss, mate.
No, okay.
You are having
If
a
you tell me
nightmare.
Haaland or Gabriel Jesus, that's easy. But we're talking about three players, three really good players that Manchester City lost.
Okay.
And you're still taking Haaland for the. I know you're saying Alvarez. Okay, Alvarez is in there too. Alvarez is not gonna be a starter. He's in.
Neither was Gabriel Jesus.
Gabriel Jesus is a better. Right now, if you told me Gabriel Jesus, Sterling, or Zinchenko over Alvarez, I would take any of those three over Alvarez.
This guy's having a nightmare. All right. Well, listen, we're not going to get into this argument again because at the end of the day, they're a better team. You
are saying that they're a better team.
They're a better team, yes.
Okay.
I think they're a better team.
I don't think they're a
And
better team.
They showed it again in the first day of the Premier League.
I don't think they're a better team because in the Premier League, I'm going to go back to my point, what I said last time. In the Premier League, you need your depth. You need players on the bench.
And you also said last podcast that Manchester City has one of the most.
They do. They still do, as in like they have Gundogan that can come off. They have Mahrez that came on. But those guys that you lost are one experience.
Phil Foden, who's probably going to be
Phil
getting a starting
Foden's,
position every single time now instead of coming in and out.
Yeah, Phil Foden is going to be mostly a starter. Bernardo Silva is on his way out from what Pep.
Listen, he's not out yet, and it hasn't been. They're not even close to making a deal or anything.
No,
he's debating, and it's like 50-50 whether he stays, whether he leaves. But I think he's got a higher chance of staying than he leaving. And I think because he's such an important part, and Pep's going to really want to keep him. But Pep even said in his press conference, like, if the players want to leave, you can't stop them. Like, let them go. Don't be there if you're not going to want to play. But that's another topic for later, because right now you can't say like they're going to be a worse team because he's gone, because he's not gone.
I still think Sterling, Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, those three are played a huge part in Pep's Manchester City in the past 4 or 5 years. And to lose that experience in the Premier League and the goals they scored and the assists and the amount of games they've played, it's just different. It's so like I know Haaland isn't one of the best. Those three, it's just not a comparison. In the Premier League, you need depth, and if you don't have depth, it shows with Liverpool. Liverpool they had in the past few years amazing starting 11. They have 1 or 2 players off the bench that are like, okay, you can say like, wow, these guys can start. You take those guys out, and then you start becoming like 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and that's the problem with Liverpool, no depth. Manchester City just lost 3 key players.
Manchester City will always have depth.
They still have depth, just not as much.
Because they have money. So, but listen, Manchester City's going to come in second. All right? Liverpool's going to come in third. Arsenal is going to come in first. Did you see their performance?
What a performance.
Listen,
in the first 20 minutes.
20 minutes was one of the best opening performances from day one. They looked like they were in mid-season form.
Gabriel Jesus, the first 20 minutes.
Not make the guy goes like brilliant football.
Martinelli should have scored.
Which, he should have scored on that one. But here's the thing that upsets me so much as an Arsenal fan is you see plays like that and you're like, why aren't you guys, at least at the very minimum, why aren't you guys in the Champions? Right? You should be finishing top 4. When you're playing like that, there's no reason why you shouldn't finish top 4. Because after those 20 minutes, for the next 65 minutes, or 50 minutes at least.
Typical
Arsenal. Start having a nightmare. They let teams back in, and then it's just like...
And Palace had chances.
Yeah.
Like
they had, exactly. That's what I'm saying. After those 20 minutes. But with the players we have, and I was looking at the lineup, and this is one of the best lineups we've had in recent times. There's not more than 2 players on that lineup that I'm just like, why are these guys playing?
Yeah.
Looking at that lineup, I'm like, these guys should finish in top 4.
See, now I'm gonna get your ass, because in the beginning when I'm gonna find the clip.
I said top 4.
No, you did not say
top 4. I said top 4.
When we talked about it, I asked you bring in Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus.
Yep.
And you said, oh well, they're not in yet, but
I said I would be happy with those 2 signings.
You would be happy, yes, you said that. But then I asked you. You don't think you'll be competing for top 4, even with those, like, typical Arsenal. Even with those guys, typical Arsenal.
But I said top 4. I said I think they'd finish top 4.
I don't know. If,
Pretty
I
sure I
don't
said
think.
top
I
four.
don't. I don't think you said
At
that.
at worst, I said 5, but I think top 4.
You didn't have faith with those 2 signings. That's all I'm gonna say. You did not.
I
have
did.
Faith.
I told you I like those 2 signings.
You know, you said you liked them,
I
but you
like
still
those
didn't
2
have faith in
signings.
Arsenal. Look, it's just game 1. So
And my
like
boy Mikel. Now,
Yeah.
see, here's the thing. People in the last couple seasons, they've been giving him like a little bit of an out because they said, well, he hasn't had enough time with the team,
Yeah.
and he's a young manager, so you got to give him a little bit of time. He's had 2 seasons now, and he's had 2 full transfer windows.
Yeah.
So like, there's no more excuses now.
Nope.
I think they need to finish top 4. If they don't finish top 4, then we need to start looking at different options. And it could be manager, could be players, I don't know. But I like him and I trust him, and I think he's. And by the way, I started watching the documentary. The first 3 episodes are up. It's good.
Did
I
you
love
watch-
watching those documentaries.
Yeah, so good, so good.
So
Saliba
just-
at center back, what a guy.
Who?
Saliba.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that guy is.
He's good, huh?
He's what, 21?
Him and
Get
Gabriel. And he was man of the match, Saliba.
Yeah. So good at 21. I don't know. I think Arsenal.
And that was actually the one name that I looked at the roster and I was like, I don't really know too much about this guy because I hadn't seen him too much before. But
Well, you guys got him a few
Good
years
performance.
ago, and then loaned him out for a few years in the French league, and then, I mean, that's what players need sometimes.
He
They
did
need
well.
game time to
he did
develop.
well. We gelled very well. I thought we looked like a very good team. Saka now is finally past the point where he's like just a young kid who's coming in and is like keep an eye out for this kid. Everybody knows who he is now. He went and he did the Euros with England,
That was tough.
which was tough, but I think it made him a better player.
Yeah.
It made him a more professional player.
Yeah.
And now he's coming in and everybody knows who he is. And he's got that confidence of like, oh, I've been here before. I've done this before. Now I really just need to show what I can do instead of like just give him a chance, see if he pans out or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's good. So Arsenal, top 4.
The only problem I see with Arsenal is attacking wise, you guys are good. Center back wise, it seems like you guys have finally sorted it out.
That's until we play Liverpool or Manchester City, and then it goes to shambles, and then we're like, we need to sort out our back line.
Well, I mean,
But-
that's just different.
And then
but
again, Zinchenko.
Xhaka. That's the key. Is Xhaka going to be able to, one, not get red cards every 5 games?
Be more consistent.
And is he going to be able to be the leader that Arteta actually needs?
Thing about him is he's passionate, which I like. Like he doesn't just go and jog around for 90 minutes. The problem is sometimes he's a little too passionate,
Yeah.
and then next thing you know, he ends up getting a red card. And again, he's a little inconsistent at times. Like there's some games where he does some really good things, and then there's some games where you're like, dude, this guy's having a nightmare, and then ends up getting a red card.
Yeah.
But with the team that he's got around him, he should be good. And if not, I think that might be one of the positions that we'll replace in the near future.
Yeah. I mean, and again, the new guys, Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, making a difference.
But that's Arsenal top 4 finish. I'm saying it right now, Georgie.
Okay. Arsenal, top 4.
You're saying it as well?
You know, in the end of this, let's do a prediction.
We'll do the prediction. We'll do our top 4.
We'll do. Okay, this is the problem I have with predictions, and I don't know why the Premier League and other leagues do it. When the season starts, the transfer window needs to shut, because
You don't like it that there's a couple weeks after?
I
It's
don't-
weird because you can play with one team for like the first couple games,
Yeah.
and then you could get transferred out.
which is good for teams because obviously injuries happen in the beginning and all that. But it's weird when you are asked to make a prediction on the teams who, let's say,
Right.
and then they go and buy 3 players, and you're like, all right, well, obviously now I got to change
Yeah,
my.
but that's why the predictions are you do
Yeah.
the prediction every other week or every couple
Yeah.
weeks or whatever, and then you keep updating it
Yeah.
until the end.
Well,
See if you're right.
No, that's what you do. I stick to my predictions, all right? So what I'm going to say in the end of the show is going to stick until the transfer window closes.
Oh,
And then,
until the transfer window
well,
closes, of course. But then you
it's-
still have 30, 34,
but
35
I'm
weeks
still
or
gonna-
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and then obviously it depends, but I'm still sticking to it. I'm going to stick to it, man.
All right. So
But you're saying Arsenal top 4.
I'm saying Arsenal top 4.
Yeah,
So now let's talk about your boys. Liverpool didn't get the win in the first game.
terrible game. That's one of the worst
2-2.
Liverpool games I've ever watched my whole entire life. No,
What happened? What's the problem?
I'll take that back. Not my
What's
whole.
the problem?
I've seen a lot of Liverpool
Listen.
terrible days, but that was pretty bad in the past 5 years. That was one of the worst performances on the Jurgen Klopp. I'll say that.
I'm going to say this. We finally have found Van Dijk's weakness. His kryptonite is Mitrovic. Listen, that guy had him in his pocket that whole game.
Oh
That guy
my
had all your defenders in his pocket the whole game. Traditional number 9. You don't see that too often anymore as well. You don't see like those big
No.
guys who are traditional number 9s. I mean, you see them, but they're not as effective as they used to be. And this guy looks like he came out of a freaking, like a top level Sunday league, where he's just like the guy that they pay a couple $100 to, and he just like shows up and just scores a bunch of goals and just.
Eastern European, man. The guy eating a lot of red meat and a lot
working
of moonshine.
hard though. He worked hard,
Oh,
pushes your players off, and then he sliced and diced Van Dijk.
Listen,
Sliced
okay,
and diced.
we can debate that one. Listen,
You can't debate that.
there was no
That was a penalty.
every angle you look at it.
No.
He didn't even touch him.
I'm gonna tell you this. All right. Here's the problem with the replays. The replays are always in slow motion.
Yes.
Slow motion is not an actual representation of what happened, because if you're traveling at a high speed,
Yes.
let's say a car's traveling at 60 miles per hour,
A slightest touch.
the slightest touch makes a big
Yeah.
difference. In slow motion, when there's a slightest touch, you're like, oh, they barely touched
No.
them. But if you're moving quickly and something takes off your balance or whatever, it's a foul and you're going down.
The problem with that is
a foul.
he was
It's a
on his
penalty.
way. He was on the way down.
You can't say that.
Yes, you can clearly see it that he was falling down. He do you know
Well,
how
if
many
he-
times?
okay, so if he was falling down, then
Yes.
Van Dijk should have moved his leg away
Oh my.
and let him fall. And then
Which is
VAR,
what-
VAR will be like,
Which
okay,
is
you didn't touch him.
Which is literally what he went for it and then he moved his leg
He
away.
made the wrong decision.
Like, either way,
He made the wrong decision.
look, that I don't think there's no way.
First time he's conceded a penalty and been dribbled past.
He didn't even get dribbled past. He
did
didn't
get
even,
dribbled past.
He didn't even make it through.
He got dribbled past.
Okay, either way, back to Mitrovic. For his big guy, I'm not saying like I like the guy, but so many fouls in that game were not fouls on Mitrovic, and because he falls easy, literally towards the end of the game, Trent.
You can
You're telling
complain
me
about the
Trent-
referees as much as you want.
No, it's not the referees. I'm talking about Mitrovic because it plays a role because it just like Suarez. When Suarez was Liverpool, he would fall down easy. Referees throughout the season started to figure him out and said, okay, look, this guy is falling down way too easy. So now Liverpool play him. This guy falls easy 3, 4, 5 times. Referees review that. He's not going to get away with it anymore.
If I have the ball and I'm traveling fast with the ball
Yeah.
and someone touches me and I'm going down, it's a penalty or it's a foul, whatever.
He didn't. That's the thing, though. He was on his way down.
Doesn't matter. Van Dijk made the wrong decision. He fouled him inside the box. Okay, so here's another argument, and I know it's different, but here's my argument. Outside of the box, they will call that every single time.
I don't know.
Yes. Every single time, that's an easy foul to give. Easy foul to give. Inside the penalty, I know it's a little different. They have to judge it a little different because the severity has to change a little bit. But that's still a penalty. If there would be more outcry, there would be more people against the decision had he not given that a penalty.
Look,
And
penalty.
hold on, and I'll even tell you this.
Okay.
this. If he doesn't give that a penalty, it goes to VAR, and then they give the penalty.
I don't think they're. VAR is weird about penalties. It's only obvious. What's obvious? Nobody knows what that even means.
That's just a vague term for them to be able to
Change it whenever they want. Like-
Still, it goes to VAR, and they change it because they would have been like, "There's contact. It was an obvious mistake that you didn't see. Penalty."
Okay. Did you watch? Okay. Let's compare that situation, the Van Dijk. Let's just say it's a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
How come Brian? Did you watch Brian versus Manchester United?
Which one? Which penalty?
They didn't even give a penalty.
Oh, I didn't
Welbeck
see
had it. Welbeck had the ball in front of him.
I watched the game, but I don't remember.
Martinez ran through him, hit him in the back. They didn't.
Oh, yeah,
even,
yeah, I
They didn't
remember
even
that
go through VAR.
That one. Anytime that one's outside the box,
Yeah,
it's a foul
that
as well.
was 100%.
That should have been a penalty.
They didn't even go to VAR.
That should have been a penalty.
It's like
Because it wasn't like it was like shoulder to shoulder. Like
No,
the dude completely knocked him off
yeah,
the ball.
Yeah, like he wasn't even like it
Yeah.
wasn't even close.
I don't
Anyway,
understand why they didn't look at that one because that one should have been a penalty.
But okay, you think so? You think the Van Dijk thing, the Van Dijk accident is a penalty? That's
Yes.
fine. The first goal for Fulham, that's a foul on Henderson.
Oh my God! Here we go.
100%. I will pull it up right now. Pull it up on that TV.
No, see, but that's funny because that one doesn't have to be a clear and obvious mistake, and so the fact that they didn't even call it,
They didn't even look
after-
at it. They didn't even look at that.
So even so that's what I'm saying though. It wasn't even like, oh well, it wasn't a clear and obvious mistake, so we're gonna let it go. Those anytime it's a goal scoring or anytime it's a goal situation, as long as there's any type of foul or anything that they missed, doesn't have to be clear and obvious, but anything that they
Yeah.
missed, they can reverse the call, and they didn't reverse the call.
They didn't reverse it at all.
So that's what I'm saying.
But did you see the replay?
Yeah,
He literally got clipped. It was like
I don't think so.
you don't think he
I
got
don't think
clipped?
so. I don't think so.
What? Did you watch
I
it?
think that was a good goal. Yeah, I watched it.
I will pull it up right
Henderson's
now.
down for the last 30 seconds of that goal because he's been on the ground since the beginning of the play.
Well,
Listen, regardless, okay, let's agree to disagree. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because here's the thing that I like to say. At the end of the day, if you leave it up to the referee, you haven't done enough.
yeah.
Liverpool left
yeah,
it
yeah.
up left it to the
No, no.
referee, which Fulham didn't leave it up to the referee. They did their part. They scored their goals. They defended as best as they could. They managed to keep Liverpool at only 2 goals, and so they deserve the point.
Liverpool got lucky. They got away with a draw.
Yeah.
Like forget the referee. I know I'm saying the referee. The Van Dijk, you can argue it. Henderson, 100% a foul. That should have been called back. Whatever what it is, but like Liverpool played bad. So Liverpool got lucky with a draw, and Henderson hit the crossbar last minute of the game. So we could have went home with 3 points.
Yeah, and I could
But-
I could show you a play
Yeah,
from Fulham
yeah.
that could have gone in, and
Yeah,
could've said
but
that they
I'm just
could've gone
saying,
away
like
with 3
at
points.
2-2, you hit the crossbar. Potentially you can go home.
Are you worried?
No, I'm not worried. But I will say that's one of the worst performers. There was no heart. It was rust all over the place. I don't know if they partied too much after the Community Shield, whatever it was. But it was just rust.
Could have been that.
It was
honestly.
it
Could
was
have been
like
just like coming off of the Community Shield win. They're like,
Manchester City.
we just beat Manchester City, no big deal.
and
Come in and
Fulham.
play Fulham, newly promoted,
Yeah.
and then
but
Mitrovic he literally opened up his shorts pockets and was like, Van Dijk, which one do you want to be in, mate? Which one
I
do
do
you
have
wanna
to
be
talk
in?"
about Trent because that was
Yeah, Trent had a nightmare. He'd gone missing as well.
the first goal. Mitrovic, just jump. If you jump earlier than
Just
Mitrovic,
get him off balance at least a little bit so he doesn't get a clean header on
he
the ball.
ducked.
It's funny, it didn't even go like it was a hard header to score.
Yeah.
Like you have to be, I don't know. Trent should have done more.
Yeah.
I don't know if did he think nobody was behind him? Is that what happened?
I don't know because he
Because he kind of just
ducked.
like jumps, but he like doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He ducks and then, I don't know.
Maybe he thought Mitchell was going to come in front, and then he's
Yeah.
like, all right, I'll let it be and go out. Either way, Trent had a bad game.
Either way.
Most of Liverpool had a bad game.
Bad game for Liverpool. Not
Yeah.
a good start.
I'm
And
not worried.
And then we talked about this last time though as well. Is Liverpool cannot afford to lose points in games, especially games like this against
Yeah.
Fulham.
Yeah.
Games like this, when they know Manchester City, for them, they're going to
Fulham's
walk through some of these teams.
Yeah.
So
But I'm
will this come back to haunt you at the end? Is what I'm saying. Because last season, this result would have come back to haunt you right at the end, right at the very end.
yeah. But Manchester City last season lost the first game of the season, and everybody was saying, oh,
I mean, you can pick out different games
Yeah.
because at some point you drop games. But I'm just saying these are games where you can't afford
Yeah.
to do that.
I just think so. This is how I look at the Premier League. Every game counts, but if I'm gonna have to pick when a team goes in form, I'd rather the team go into form in December, and
Rather than panic mode at the end.
rather than start off amazing, because usually that's how it goes.
Arsenal.
Every single
Arsenal.
team, like Liverpool or Manchester City, both do this.
Yeah.
They start off either amazing, and then they kind of like have like 3-4 games. Like last year, Liverpool were 14 points behind Manchester City at one point, and then in the end it was like lost by a point.
Right.
So like Manchester City started off amazing, Liverpool didn't, and then Liverpool kicked off towards the end of the season, and then Manchester City kind of dropped off a few games, and there was a little bit of panic and what can happen, and then it went towards like the last game of the season where anything could have happened when they were down 2-0. But yeah, it wasn't a good game. But am I worried? No, I'm not worried. I think Jurgen Klopp is gonna get them back.
I think when we do the podcast at the end of the season and we're looking at the last weekend, we might come back to the very first weekend and we might say like, if you guys would have beat Fulham,
What I'm worried about is the injury situation at Liverpool. Thiago out for 6 weeks. Oxlade-Chamberlain, few months.
well, that's the thing. You guys also have players that are just like injury prone. So it's
Yeah.
not even, oh, we're going through a bad spell.
yeah.
It's like this guy and this guy will at some point in the season,
Mhm.
95% sure that at some point in the season they will be injured for at least 3 or 4
Yeah.
games.
So we have no midfielders.
Yeah. So
Like,
guys-
So like
so there's
Liverpool,
your depth.
yeah, Liverpool need to go, and that it was brought up to Jurgen Klopp, and he said, no, we're not gonna buy. We have 8 or 9 midfielders on this team.
You guys have a good squad when everybody's healthy and
Yeah.
everybody's playing and your starting 11 are playing well.
It-
Almost unstoppable.
But we're not Manchester
But
City
injuries-
to where like,
Injuries.
Phil Foden gets hurt and you have Mahrez coming in. Like it's not like that. But I will say Harvey Elliott and Carvalho are promising, man. So good.
And
Harvey
they-
Elliott, I thought was
Well, Harvey Elliott's
amazing.
now he's got what 2 or 3 seasons now with
Yeah.
Liverpool where he's starting to get more playing time
Yeah.
and he's come on.
this is like
He needs to
his
show up
year.
this season. Yeah.
This is the season where he's coming back from a broken leg. So like, It took him like I said in last episode. I thought he was the best Liverpool player last season, first 5 games. Then he got hurt. Then obviously it took him a while to get back. But if he can kick off this year and play the way he's played in those first 5 games, this guy's gonna be something else. And Carvalho, I told you, he almost scored.
Coutinho vibes.
Coutinho vibes.
He should have scored.
He should have put it on target at
He
least.
should have put it on target.
Yeah.
Coutinho puts that on target.
Yeah. Well, Coutinho wasn't.
It was a little bit hard because he wanted to like side foot it type
Yeah.
thing, but you got to get it at least on target. Make the
like him.
goalkeeper make it safe.
I like him a lot.
But I could see what you're saying with the whole Coutinho vibes, but he only played a little bit, so
yeah,
didn't get to
tough.
see him enough. Okay, so that's Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the next big teams. Tottenham 4-1 over Southampton.
Amazing, man. Conte got him hardest preseason Kane and Son they've ever been through, or so they say.
I think they're going to be kind of quiet throughout the season. Like they won't have as much chatter as Liverpool, Manchester City, probably even Arsenal at some points, or Chelsea. But they're going to be one of those teams that's going to be always fighting for like top 3 or top 4 this season. Season.
I think they finished
because the way he's got him playing, or the way he is as a coach, and with the players that he signed, and with the team that he has now, where he didn't lose anyone, and then he added Kulusevski was here, but now he's really been with the team for preseason and everything, and the guy's playing well.
The guy gets an assist every game.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And then they got Richarlison, and
they're gonna be good.
They got
Richarlison was hurt for this first weekend, but yeah, I mean that's another option that you guys have. That he's gonna be. They're gonna have to figure out a way to get him starting with all the other guys on the team.
That was my argument. Like I don't think he starts
because they had Harry Kane up top.
Yeah,
and that's where Richarlison is gonna play. So then you think because they had Kulusevski and Son underneath Kane, and Richarlison has to be
better than either of those two, and he's not better than Son.
Because you can. Here's the thing: you can put Kane, Son, and Richarlison as the number 9s. You could probably even put Kulusevski there, to be honest. But you could put those 3 guys as the 9s. And at some point, they've all played there, where like Son has played forward and Harry Kane has played underneath. So, but Richarlison, you can't really put him anywhere other than the 9. I don't think you can put him underneath. I think the guy's more of...
No, he's not underneath. He's more of a winger if he's going to be anywhere else.
Yeah, but the way that they're playing, especially with the back 3, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they bring him in, but...
That's why I was very surprised when he went for him, because like...
Well, I think their struggles aren't going to be up top. I think their struggles are going to be at the back or in the midfield. Because you still have Eric Dyer as a center back, who I don't know. I don't like him. I know he scored, but I don't like him. Mm-hmm. And then you got Højbjerg in the middle with Bentancur, who played in the first game as a center mids. Sessegnon and Royale.
Sessegnon's good, man.
But like none of those guys, I'm like, are those 4 guys across that line in front of the back 3? Are they good enough to be top 3 in the Premier League?
Højbjerg is a boss. I like Højbjerg a lot.
Yeah, but he's gonna have to be a standout player for them.
Yeah.
But is he going to be?
I think so.
I think
I
attacking
like
wise, this is where attacking wise they're going to score a lot of goals.
Yeah.
But I don't know defensively and in the midfield if they're going to be able to
be on the same level.
Long term, being on the same level as some of the other teams, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Chelsea's got a good squad as well, man. So Tottenham's going to be, I think, top 5. Top 5. I don't know.
I'll tell you everything in the end.
It's hard because now you have to fit everyone in because you're going to say, well, Manchester City and Liverpool are going to occupy the top 3 spots. Not according to you, because Manchester City is going to finish third or less than third.
Yes.
But so then you got Tottenham, you got Chelsea, and Chelsea won their game as well, not by much, where they win 1-0 from a pen from Jorginho. All right, and they lost
Timo.
They lost Timo. Did he leave already? Okay, he's gone. So he's official. And Lukaku, they lost.
Yeah.
So, but let me see. Yeah, there's Kai Havertz up top still. But they did just sign Cucurella.
Yeah.
And who else did they just sign?
That one is so confusing to me because you have Ben Chilwell. The guy's good.
Yeah.
Like, I really like Chilwell. I know he just tore his ACL last year, but, like, I don't know. Chilwell's...
I think Chelsea... I don't know, man. I would say Chelsea's
out.
I think Chelsea is going to be the team that I would say is going to be out.
Yeah.
I think they're a good team. I don't think they have enough top-level players who are going to be difference makers.
Yeah, as of right now.
Again, transfer window's not closed yet, so we can change our predictions in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So Chelsea wins, so they get their 3 points. So Chelsea, Tottenham, Manchester City, Arsenal all win their games. All right. So right now, those are the teams that are feeling good about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool are gonna have to play catch up, but it's super. I mean, it's
Yeah.
first weekend. So
Yeah.
once they get their
Liverpool need
ish
to buy
together,
players.
they're gonna be fine
They need to buy some players. They need to buy a midfielder.
in the next.
Jude Bellingham. Buy him now. 100 mil.
He's
Just
not gonna be 100 mil, is he?
That's
Is that what they want for
Versatile-
him?
Yeah.
What?
Listen,
dude.
I love that guy.
He's a good player, but
if he comes to Liverpool, his contract runs out next year or two.
I would say give him another year or two before you put a $100 million price tag on him. It's not like he's been
linked with Liverpool for the past 6 months, and I think what they're trying to do is sign him now for next year. So he's gonna stay with Borussia Dortmund for a year, just like Naby Keita. But I like him a lot. I'm a huge fan. So if Liverpool can get him in, Liverpool win the league easy.
all right. So if they get him in, and they won't win the league, they still won't win the league.
Liverpool are not gonna be able to get him this. They're just
All right.
I don't know.
And then Manchester United, the club that every single week is in shambles recently.
Yeah, it's
I'll tell you what, just by watching it, and I hate criticizing because, I mean, it's just like you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, but you can tell that Ten Hag is having a nightmare already.
Yeah.
Not because of him personally or his philosophy or the way it's just the team that he was given and the culture that's been there for a while now. For him coming into it, he's going to have to change everything.
Yeah.
And again, the spotlight's on Ronaldo, and they were like, oh, is Ronaldo even going to be in the squad? He was in the squad, and he came on in was it the 50th minute? I think he came on in like the 50th minute. I thought he was going to come on at halftime. Let me check exactly when he came on.
Yeah, I think it was around the 50.
He came in
between 50 and 55.
Let's see here. Yeah, 53rd minute. He came on in 53rd minute. Didn't really do much.
This is the thing, though. This is the thing.
Brighton.
I like Brighton's coach is absolutely amazing. Like, I don't know why that guy has not been.
Oh yeah, Graham Potter.
Grandpa, so good. Yeah. I don't know why he's not been one.
Well, they love him at Brighton.
But Brighton is Brighton. Like Manchester United could have got him. Like that style,
but
would
again,
fit in. But
they like Ten Hag at Ajax.
Yeah.
But then you come to Manchester United and it's like a completely different story.
It is, and you're right. The way things have been in Manchester United for the past few years, it's not a good. Like obviously the history, the past 5 years or so, it hasn't been good. It's a lot of the similar players have been there, and it's kind of the culture is now winning, but fighting for like 5th, 6th, 7th place.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to change the culture overall, whether it's fans, within the club, the players, staff, like everything's gonna have to change. The Ronaldo thing, the longer he keeps that going,
like he doesn't resolve it.
Yeah, he needs to resolve it. It's either like he's gonna stay or he's gonna go. You need to put a stamp on it because the more you just gotta let it be, there's gonna be rumors.
Ronaldo's waiting until the last. I mean, he's gonna wait until the end of the transfer window. If the transfer window closes and he doesn't have a club, then he's gonna have to stay, and obviously he's just gonna have to figure it out. But I think it's more about telling Ronaldo, like, look, because Ten Hag has said he wants Ronaldo to stay.
Yeah.
But now as time goes on and this becomes more of a nightmare, I wonder if Ten Hag is just saying, like, you know what, Ronaldo, if you want to leave, just get out.
Yeah.
Just get out because you're not helping the situation right now. But when he does stay, he needs to have a conversation and say, like, the thing is, he can't keep Ronaldo and then sub him on at 45. He needs to keep Ronaldo and start him every single game and not take him off.
Yeah, because it's still going to be.
Otherwise, it's going to be the drama. And Ronaldo's not going to be happy with playing 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I think Ronaldo helps them, and judging based off of that performance, because watching that game, Brighton against Manchester United, you could not tell which team was supposed to be superior because of their history. It looked like with Liverpool and with Manchester City, every time they play, you can tell that they're knocking on the door to score every single time, right? They have more possession of the ball. They're the better team. It's just whether the other teams can hold them off for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Liverpool, again, didn't have the best performance, but even then, during most of the game, you could tell that they're the better team.
Yeah.
Manchester United is getting to that point where you cannot tell that they're the better team.
Yeah.
They're starting to turn into a mid-level Premier League team where it's just like 50-50 whether they win or the other team wins, and you're not really sure. So that's the problem with Manchester United, is that they need to change. They need to get back to, and everyone's saying it, man, but with the players that they have, they're mid-level players.
Yeah.
Like McTominay and Fred as your two central midfielders. You're not going to be even, I mean, at best, you're going to be fighting for Europa.
I mean, I think the coach plays like coach manager. They play a huge role. Like again, I'm gonna go back to the Jurgen Klopp. He brought in players that are in the like relegation battles, like Gini Wijnaldum, and made him what Wijnaldum was. Then we went to PSG and nothing didn't work out. Now he's at Roma. Like the manager can make or break you as well. So like if Ten Hag
Yeah, but you
comes in and makes it says, okay, Fred, I believe in you, whatever, like, and you coach him, you can improve Fred. You can improve
I
McTominay.
don't think you can improve.
I like Fred. I don't know. Fred is given a lot of stick, and I think he's just the scapegoat for Manchester United because every time Manchester United plays, nobody cares about what Bruno does. Bruno's pass completion is like 30%. Like nobody talks about that. Like his own quote was
Yeah,
like,
but
when I'm in the attacking third, I like to take chances. If I make one pass out of 10 and that pass goes through and we score a goal, everyone's happy. Yeah, but what about the 9 passes that you
yeah,
give
but
away
it's different
and you
because
get
Bruno
scored?
Bruno has much more end product than Fred. What has Fred done? That's the thing. Fred
Well-
stays in the middle
Yeah.
where he doesn't do anything too crazy, too amazing, and he typically doesn't do anything too terrible. But the problem with him standing in the middle is that he goes missing, and people are like, "Is Fred even on the pitch? What is he doing on the pitch?
Well, that's the thing though.
He's doing nothing."
He allows people like Ronaldo and all those guys to just stay forward.
That guy's you can't have that guy if you want to compete for at least the Champions League. You can't have that guy.
I'm
And
look, I'm not.
McTominay.
I'm not like a huge fan of Fred. I'm just saying like, and I don't like Manchester United, so I really don't care. But every time Man United lose, it's blamed on Fred. Every single
As it should be.
He's the scapegoat. Like
No,
Bruno
it's not.
can.
It's him. It's Harry Maguire.
Yeah, well, him
It's
and Harry
Luke
Maguire.
Shaw. And now it's McTominay because that guy. Why did they get that guy?
I mean, he was the academy, so
Why?
he's just playing through. But what you said about Ronaldo, he didn't do too much. But as soon as he went on, Ronaldo puts fear in the opposition's defenders, mitters, whoever it is.
Yeah, which is why I think it's better to start him. I don't care about
Yeah.
the drama. You're gonna get results. You're gonna get more results with him on the field than with him without the field, off the field.
Ronaldo, as soon as Ronaldo went on, I felt like United could have scored like 1 or 2 goals
Yeah.
just because if he's in the box, and they could have. Rashford had maybe 2 really good chances. One was a cross. I think it was from Bruno,
Yeah, he missed a
And-
couple of chances.
and then the 2 center backs went for Ronaldo, and then Rashford far post by himself, and he would kick it over, and then Ronaldo played him a ball even though it was offside, 1-on-1 against the keeper.
And you got to score that.
Yeah,
I don't
like
care if you have to chip him or you have to like pretend like you're gonna shoot and then wait until he
Yeah.
dives past you and then tap it in. But
if that wasn't offside, Ronaldo
Yeah.
would have had his head.
yeah,
But like that's the thing. Like Ronaldo creates all that
Yeah.
chaos in the box when he's in there because everybody's gonna go after him,
Right.
and then you can kind of like just Rashford far post. So you got to play him, and also if you take Ronaldo out of that Manchester United team, last year he gave you 24 goals. Who's gonna score you 24 goals in that team right now? Rashford. Rashford's not gonna score 24 goals.
yeah.
Martial, unlikely.
But again, that's where they're saying like at what cost? If we put him on the field, even though he gets those 24 goals, we're still losing. I don't know. They're still losing something defensively, or because he's a poacher now,
yeah.
so that's how he gets a lot of his goals. And his work rate isn't the same as it
Mhm.
used to be, because so they know defensively they're not gonna get the same out of him as somebody else. And I think with the drama, obviously with the drama that's been surrounding him, you couldn't start him. Like
Mhm.
I'm saying, he should be playing for more than 60 minutes, but you can't start the guy with
No.
all that's been happening.
Yeah.
I get it from a
Yeah.
coach perspective, because then he'll lose the rest of the locker room there, because they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, okay, so Ronaldo can just do whatever he wants, and then he can show up at the weekend and he can start.
Yeah, and he wasn't
I
there
get
for
it.
most of preseason. So
And
yeah.
he wasn't there for preseason. So I get that part. And so what he did was the balance of like, okay, I'm not going to punish him by just like not playing him, because then the media will be after me. So I'm going to put him in the second half, right at the beginning of the
Mhm.
second half. So I think from a coach's perspective as to what was the best decision to make, I think that was the best decision to make, to keep the locker room and to keep the fans happy. Now, as long as he's training, as long as he's playing, or as long as he's training and he's in the he's showing up, you got to start him from now on.
Yeah.
I think you got to start him. But I still don't know if that fixes the problems anymore, because I think it's getting to the point where Manchester United's problems are beyond fixing with Ronaldo. Like Ronaldo's just like a patch of like duct tape,
Yeah.
and he's like getting closer and closer, where that duct tape just keeps peeling
Yeah.
off. You have to put it back on. You need a long-term solution, and that's where I think this season is not going to go very well for Manchester United. And I think Ten Hag needs to, every single opportunity he gets to sell one of those players and buy someone else for this transfer window and for the next transfer window. Yeah. And then just little by little start changing the culture. Because a lot of it is not just, you can't just show up and change the culture. Because a lot of those players,
You're just stuck in their ways.
they're stuck in their ways and you can't change them unless you get rid of them. And that's what happened with Barcelona when Pep took over the very first couple of years. First thing he did was, one of the first things he did was he took Ronaldinho off the team. And once Ronaldinho was off the team, if you think about Barcelona's best moments from like 2009 to 2012, it was Ronaldinho wasn't on that team.
Yeah.
He was there at the beginning, but then when Pep was like, this guy, as great as he is, he doesn't fit the style that I want to play, he has to go. So you might have to do that for Ronaldo. You might have to do that for some of the other players as well, which might not seem like a great idea at first, but you have to do it. And he's got to change the culture. And unfortunately, he got stuck in a crappy situation.
Yeah.
And now he's trying to get himself out of it. But you could just tell by his reaction on the bench. Like, he was just like, what am I going to do? Because this is just a nightmare. Fans are against them. Not necessarily against him, but like fans are giving Ronaldo a standing ovation, clapping for him when he comes on after all the drama. And like, obviously Ten Hag's going to feel like they're a little bit against him.
Yeah.
And they're siding with Ronaldo, which is fine. But just a lot of problems, too many problems to fix in one season for me.
And also, what do you think about Martinez, center back?
Interesting. I thought he did well. I thought he did very, very well. Considering the fact that the guy is like 5'6" or something like that, and he's playing center back, I thought he did well.
I think he did well because it's Brighton, because they play the passive game.
Yeah,
when he plays against traditional,
he did well because they left. Who was it that they left? Welbeck.
Yeah.
They left Welbeck up top, and they were trying to find him on the counter.
Yeah.
Every single time they tried to find Welbeck, he got in front, and he managed to win the ball, give it back to De Gea or whatever, and play out.
So what does that say about Varane? A guy who at Real Madrid was a starter for most of his career. You come to Manchester United, and you're stuck on the bench. And Maguire's playing.
Times change, man. Varane, you know which game was the very first game that I saw Varane play? The Clásico against Barcelona. I remember watching that game, and I'd never heard of Varane before, and they started him. And I think the game ended up 1-1, and he scored the game-tying goal off of a header. But I'd never heard him. I was like, who the heck is this? Why are they putting this guy in El Clásico? Yeah. Why the heck are they putting this guy? And he was, from there, he became a really good player at Real Madrid. And then now he's just kind of gone downhill.
Hanging out on the bench next to Ronaldo.
But that's what happens with a lot of these players. Like, some players' prime years are shorter than others. Yeah. Ronaldo managed to have a very, very long prime. Varane, much shorter. And you see that with a lot of other players. They're really good players, but you can't judge them based off of what they were 4 or 5 years ago. And Varane's not the same player. At least he hasn't been.
And it's also the coach. Like from Ten Hag coming from Ajax, he's going to bring Martinez. He played under him for so many years. Where I think he did have a good game. I don't think he's going to be a good signing through the whole, like, when we look back,
because against better strikers, he's gonna struggle.
Better strikers, 2 in the air. Like,
it is weird that he's playing center back, because you think with the qualities that he's had, you're like, you would never consider him for a center back. No. You'd consider him for a fullback.
Yeah,
you'd be like, okay, maybe he's a good fullback. But
I mean, he played it for Ajax. I just think in the Netherlands, in that league, they play passive. They don't. It's not more direct.
Right.
Where here in the Premier League,
here's more of a physical battle, one versus ones with good hold up players and stuff like that.
And also heading the ball, like, he's not gonna get over, like you put set pieces, like that's a huge, like,
in the Premier League, that's huge.
That's huge.
But
to have that size.
Listen, the guy's been doing it, and he's been doing it well. And if Ten Hag thinks he can do it, he's gonna do it.
And that's why they're gonna finish 6th or 7th.
Leeds Wolves. 2-1 Leeds.
Team America.
Team America, let's go. Let's go, man. Come on. It's good. It's good for them that they're...
Good for Jesse Marsch.
It's not even... Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing as well, is the last time there was an American coach in the Premier League, a real American coach, was Bob Bradley.
That was...
Right? And that was a nightmare, 2 weeks or whatever, however long it lasted. It lasted a little longer than that. But first of all, Bob Bradley was just given a bad reputation to start. They didn't give him a chance. The board didn't give him a chance, and they were like, all right, first, I mean, he was brought into a club that wasn't winning anyway, and then he got booted. Jesse Marsh is a little bit different. He gets more respect now, and obviously, if he's coaching at Leeds, they give him the opportunity at Leeds. That's good. That's good because now, if he does well, he keeps them up and he keeps them up in a respectable position. Now there's another opportunity for another American coach at some point to come in. And then they got a couple Americans on the team as well. Aronson, who played really, really well. Who's the other American that they just signed? I don't think he played.
Adams?
Yeah. Tyler Adams. Oh, yeah, he did play. Yes. Holding center mid.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, good for them. Like,
and Harrison, who played at Wake Forest.
Yeah.
That guy's went the traditional American college route when his opportunities in England were limited. So he came here, balled out his freshman year. I remember people talking about him. Balled out his freshman year, got drafted, went to ended up at New York City FC, got bought, and he's still a Manchester City player.
Yeah.
Right.
I think so. Yeah.
Or did they? I don't think they've bought him permanently, have they?
I have no.
I'm pretty sure he still belongs to Manchester City.
I think I do think they bought him.
Did they? Because otherwise he's been on loan for the longest time. I don't know, but either way, he got bought by Manchester City and then he got loaned out to Leeds, helped get them promoted. Yeah, and now he's playing regularly.
No, he's good at,
and he's one of their best players.
Yeah,
most consistent over the last couple seasons.
Yeah, and there was a question mark: Rafinha leaving Leeds, huge player for them. How they're gonna do? Obviously, it's just the first game, so it's hard to say if they're gonna stay up or not. A lot of pundits are saying they're going down. So it seems like
Team America staying up.
It seems like the locker room is with Jesse Marsh. So like,
yeah,
who knows? I mean, good for him.
Good. Yeah. Like the first weekend is massive for the confidence of the players and confidence of the team, because you win that first weekend, and now it sets you up for the next win and the next win after that, and it gets a little bit better. If you lose the first weekend, now you're kind of like,
you already.
Do we have the right team? Do I have the right players? Like, are we playing the right style? You know, so huge confidence boost for Leeds.
32 more points until you're safely staying in the Premier League, pretty much.
And Team America, the coach Jesse Marsh almost getting into it with the Wolves coach as well after the game.
Yeah. Drama everywhere.
Premier
League is back.
Maybe he said something to him because he doesn't like that he's American in the Premier League and he just got beat by an American coach in the Premier League.
I wouldn't know that.
The Ted Lasso effect, right? That's what they're saying. Newcastle wins 2-0 against Nottingham Forest. Yeah. What do you think about Newcastle this season?
I think they finished. I think.
I was about to say, if you were going to say I think they finished top 4, I was
not top 4. No. I will say, wow, this is. No, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say something crazy. But actually, it's not, I don't even think it's that crazy. I think they're going to finish above Manchester United.
You're going to get some wheels turning with that prediction. I don't think it's a crazy prediction. I think the only reason why people would say it's a crazy prediction is because of the name.
Yeah.
Correct. But the way that they're playing, like, it's not far off.
No, Eddie Howe has transformed that team. Obviously, money helps.
Yeah, but he did do a great job because it's not like they bought a bunch of players right away.
Yeah,
he got who did he get?
Bruno. Bruno's a baller, man.
Let me see.
That pass, the way he plays in the midfield is just amazing.
And Joelinton's been playing really, really well.
Yeah.
Once they switched him to be a center midfielder. And
That's my guy.
Almiron from the MLS.
He had a lot of stick last year. Well, the past few years, ever since Bruce brought him for 30 million, 20 million, 25, 30, 40 million. I don't know what they got him in for. But
he had one game that he played really, really well as center mid that they'd never put him there before. Yeah. And then after that, everybody was going crazy about him.
Yeah.
And then you got St. Maximin, who everyone says, like, individually, well, not everyone, but people say individually is like the best 1-versus-1 player there is in the world.
Yeah. 1-on-1, I don't think there's any. I don't think he's so explosive.
Probably he's a little selfish.
Selfish, and he's not consistent.
Yeah.
So
that's what you get with players like that, though.
But Bruno's their best player.
Guimaraes?
Yeah. Best player. So good.
He had an 8.4 rating on FootMob.
So good.
I don't know him.
They signed him last year. He's Brazilian, I think.
Yeah.
Is he Brazilian?
Yeah. 24 years old.
Yeah. They signed him last year. He didn't play much because get him accustomed to the Premier League. But this year, man. The games he played last year.
Maybe that'll be the difference.
Yeah. And they brought in Brighton's defender last year. Helped him stay up. He's bringing in Well,
little by little.
like players that have been in the Premier League, that have experience, and they're just coming in to fill a few spots here and there. And he's saying one of the Longstaff brothers are gonna have like a breakout season because he's been like
Yeah.
amazing.
They're getting to the point where they've signed players who are a little bit better than what they've had. And one or two of those players has played with a bigger name player who eventually in the transfer window is going to be able to convince that
Yeah.
bigger name player to come there. And the next thing you know, more players are going to be interested because they have those players. But with Newcastle, no matter how much money you have, you're never going to sign someone like Erling Haaland just because you can pay them whatever they want, or whatever money.
Yeah.
You need to have
tough.
a good base, a really good team to be able to attract those types of players. But now they're getting players like Bruno. They're getting players like, well, St. Maximin's doing much better, and then Kieran Trippier, who's played with some good players. So now those guys will probably start recruiting on their own as well, and they could be a good team.
Is Santiago Nunes still there or no?
And Muñez is gone, man. He's got to be
Yeah.
retired. He's hanging out in a pool somewhere with Iker Casillas and Ronaldo and
Beckham,
Roberto Carlos and Beckham. Okay, so that's pretty much that rounds up the first week of the Premier League. Good week. I here's the thing. Before I didn't even have the package, the cable package, which is annoying. Now I paid for the package. I got the what did I get? Fubo TV, and I also got Peacock as well, so I can watch all the games.
And most games are on like Peacock now.
Yeah, which is there's like 50% of the games are on Peacock, which is crazy because it's only a $5 service.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's not a Peacock ad.
No,
but I'm just saying it.
And this is off top, but they're saying that there's like a $200 million deal in place, or $2 billion deal for the Premier League and NBC and Peacock and all that. So
as long what they need to do is if they wanted to grow in this country, they need to get those games all under one streaming service or one cable provider or something, one channel basically, so that people, when they sign up for cable, when they go get YouTube TV or Fubo TV or whatever, they don't have to get 3 different services to watch all the games. Yeah, because that's BS.
Yeah, I guess.
Same thing with the MLS. Same thing with the USL Championship. They need to find a way to get all those under one, so that people know exactly that they can watch all the games under one service, and more people will watch. But anyway, we've been watching all the games, or as many as we can, because there's a lot of games.
Yeah. And there's like 3 or 4 games all at the same time, so it's kind of hard to like watch every single one.
But we'll try and keep up with most of the games. We'll do an analysis. But before we finish this, let's go top 4 predictions to at the end of the season, and we'll do this every single podcast. So I want to see if it changes, because you keep saying the prediction right before the transfer window closes, and it's going to be the same at the end.
This is the way I look at it. If I'm gonna make a prediction now, I'm not gonna go back on my word within like.
It's not going back on your word, but as teams progress, you might make an adjustment. You say, okay, now they're not playing so well, or they really found their form. Now I think they're going to be better.
Well, one team is never gonna change.
Manchester United or Liverpool?
Liverpool are going to stay in the first spot.
Okay, so give me your honest predictions right now, based off of week 1, where everyone is with the transfers that they have. Who finishes top 4?
Does it matter in order or
yes,
just
order? Of course, it matters in order.
Okay.
Premier League champions. Or no, let's start with the fourth place.
Arsenal.
Okay.
Manchester City.
3rd. All right.
Spurs. Liverpool.
Interesting. So Chelsea's out.
Chelsea's out. Manchester United is not even.
Okay.
Challenging.
All right. That's not a crazy prediction.
No. I think Spurs they have the complete I don't know. I think Conte won. He's going to do what he does with every team. The first 6 months or a year, he gets used to the league or the team, gets them in a good spot somehow, like he did last year.
Sets them up for the following season after that.
The following season is always the one that's like first or second.
Yeah.
And then that season after that is like falls down because players cannot keep up with the demand.
Yeah.
He reminds me of
and then he goes to a different team.
And then he goes to different. He reminds me of early Mourinho, where like first season sets up, second and third like he challenges, and then after that it's like, all right, go somewhere else.
Okay, so those are your predictions.
Yes. What
are
you
predictions?
saying?
Manchester City first. Liverpool second. See, this is a tough one. I should have gone the other way. But this is a tough one. I still think Arsenal's in 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate saying that Tottenham will finish ahead of Arsenal. As an Arsenal fan, like that's like you can't say that. That's banned. I think it's between Tottenham and Chelsea who finishes in 3rd. But one of them finishes in 3rd, the other one finishes in 5th. Because I think Arsenal will finish in 4th. So Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham slash Arsenal, or sorry, Tottenham slash Chelsea, and Arsenal in fourth.
I just Chelsea for me. Yes, they got Sterling in, but I
Tuchel,
just don't see.
same kind of coach as Conte, man. That guy doesn't.
Mm.
He doesn't have bad seasons. His bad seasons are fourth, third
Yeah.
place. That's it.
There's talk that Aubameyang is going to Chelsea reunite,
Which is
with Tuchel.
crazy because the guy just got to Barcelona.
Yeah, but they
Like he hasn't even been there a full season. And they're already telling him
Lewandowski or
yeah,
Memphis,
which is
it's
fine.
Yeah.
But
Okay, let's do fifth through. I mean, this is like it gets, who knows, fifth through like eighth.
okay, fifth for me, again Chelsea or Tottenham, one of those two.
Yeah,
Chelsea or Tottenham. I still don't. I don't think Manchester. I think Manchester United is eighth.
wow. So
I think Manchester United is eighth.
two teams.
So the two teams in there,
It's
Just
it's tough
looking
on top
at
of the
it,
head. It's
off the top of the head, I think
I gotta look at the teams.
I
as well,
would
'cause-
say Leeds.
Whoa.
Leeds is somewhere in sixth or seventh.
Okay, you have lost the plot.
No.
You
You'll see.
okay?
Leeds
you
is somewhere in sixth or seventh.
you've lost the plot. That's it. Right now, I'm telling you.
Who
you've
else,
lost the plot.
George? Who else?
West Ham, Newcastle, Wolves.
Leeds just lost. Leeds just beat Wolves.
Yeah.
West Ham lost, and Newcastle's the only other team. And you think Newcastle will finish?
West Ham, West Ham, Aston Villa potentially, Wolves, Leicester
but
can
see,
even.
but that's what I'm saying. It's not that crazy to say Leeds can finish in
Leeds.
sixth or seventh.
It is crazy.
I'm thinking closer to seventh. That sixth spot is going to be held by some random team, probably could be like Wolves, could be, I don't know, could be Newcastle. But I can't give you a sixth. I'm just going to tell
This
you.
man said Leeds is gonna finish. In the
Who's
top
going to finish?
seven.
Okay, 5 through 8. Give me yours.
Chelsea,
Okay.
definitely not Leeds.
'Kay.
Chelsea, I'm not gonna tell you in order, but I'm gonna tell you the three after that.
No. Don't give me that crap. I hate that. This is not my take, like you said last week.
No,
This is your take.
okay.
You tell me right now.
Chelsea,
Chelsea's in fifth.
Chelsea's in fifth. Then I'm gonna say West Ham,
Sixth. I got some catching up to do.
Newcastle,
Newcastle.
Wolves,
Wolves. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
and then I have like Aston Villa and Man United, or United Aston Villa, either or. I think United finish from
Barely inside the top 10.
Man United finish outside the top 8.
So 9th or 10th spot.
Yeah,
Okay.
God, that would make my life. That would make my
Interesting
life.
predictions. They're not far off the way that things are going right now. But those are our predictions. We'll update this every single week.
Okay, relegation. We gotta say who goes down.
Okay.
No, I gotta look.
Relegation battle.
Relegation.
Relegation battle. Let's see here. I'm probably going to go Bournemouth,
Yeah,
which is interesting because they won their first game.
yeah.
But still, they didn't play anyone. I'm going to go Bournemouth. And then I'm going to go Nottingham Forest
Yeah.
and Southampton.
Southampton are just like youth.
Nottingham
Yeah.
Forest is not going to do well at all. I don't think they have the players. They're not going to do well. And Bournemouth, I think, is probably going to be there as well.
So give me another team. Give me like the like bottom four, and like they're fighting. So like you get some leeway.
Crystal Palace.
Ooh.
Crystal Palace. As much as I like Vieira, Arsenal legend,
You don't think Fulham are gonna be down there, despite the performance?
Fulham.
Yeah, I know they
What do
played
you
against.
mean?
I know.
Mitrovic. You think Mitrovic is not going to score
Every
100
time-
goals this season?
5 seasons now in a row, Fulham come up and go down with Mitrovic on the team.
New year.
Yeah,
New year, new
coach.
Mitrovic.
New
Fulham's not going down.
Mitrovic. You know Mitrovic.
If
is,
that guy plays the same way he's been playing,
Well,
same way he played first game, they're not going
Mitrovic
down.
is the best championship striker.
Well, now
Ever.
he's one of the. He made Van Dijk.
No,
He sliced and diced Van Dijk.
okay. I'll tell you mine. All right. Leeds are gonna be in the bottom 3. I'm not gonna say last place or anything like that. I'm saying bottom 3, like no order, or bottom 4. Leeds are gonna be there. Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, and then it's either Fulham or Southampton for me.
All right, but that one's. There's going to be like 6 or 7 teams there
Yeah.
that you can pick from.
Yeah.
So those are our predictions. But that's yeah, that's it for today. Let's end the podcast there. We'll come back. We'll circle back next week at the end of match week 2, and we'll see what major dramatic changes have happened to the Premier League.
Yeah. It's exciting, man. Premier League is back.
Premier League is back. And we'll probably talk about some of the other leagues as well. But the problem with the other leagues is that PSG is going to win. Bayern Munich is going to win. Real Madrid is probably going to win. Barcelona might have a chance, but
they can't sign players.
There's not much to talk about. Well, but that whole Barcelona subject is
just a whole podcast on its own.
Yeah, that's a whole podcast on its own. All right, guys. Well, thanks for following along for this one. Appreciate anyone who made it all the way to the end. Anything else, Georgie?
Comment down below. Let us know who do you think is going to win the Premier League and
top four
and the relegation battle. And where's Manchester United going to finish? Because we don't like Manchester United here.
All right. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.